It's only the greatest video game convention ever. So the Midwest Gaming Classic is a big convention. It's 3 floors of gaming stuff.
Big swap meet, big arcade, some panels that people are on.
Laser tag, tabletop RPGs, pinball machines, and things like that. So if that's what you're into, good place to go.
Over the course of a weekend in Milwaukee.
The hotel was huge. There was the sexy part of the hotel, but we'll get to that later in the video.
You know, it's things like these, when you go to the swap meet part of it, everybody knows what they have.
I thought the prices of games went up quite a bit from before, and I'm talking about NES games, because that's what I was basically there for, was NES games.
I would say that, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of steals to be had. I think Dan B got one decent steal, and that was about it.
I was thinking about trying to collect every single Ninja Turtle game ever, but the more I looked around and thought about it, the more I thought, man, this is way too much of a price thing for me to get into right now, and I can be happy just emulating the games.
I was going to throw big money if anybody had the Breath of the Wild vinyl. There was a person there, a vendor there, with video game records. They had video game soundtracks, you know, put onto, which I thought was pretty cool.
We went upstairs to the 3rd floor. They had a lot more arcades.
The pinball section actually was really strong. The highlight for me was there was an auction company auctioning off a bunch of games, and in that collection of games they had a fully working Baby Pac-Man arcade.
And it was actually a working Baby Pac-Man game, because, you know, we went to Galloping Ghost and tried to play this, and it was out of order.
You don't see those fully working a lot. It was cool to play it. Thought that was also a little weird where an auction was having the arcades there where people could just play them and destroy them right before the auction.
The funny thing is I ended up playing and I tilted it first game. I was like, tilt! And the guy comes running over like, what? Oops, tilt? I got like 38th place or something, and then Dick Boots played and beat me.
I did okay at the Baby Pac-Man.
I went to 3 panels.
That's probably the best part of these cons, are the panels.
The first one was a nostalgia critic panel. That panel was about why are video game movies so crappy usually.
That was very insightful.
And then the second panel we went to was the Metal Jesus Crew YouTuber panel. And that panel had Metal Jesus, John Riggs, John Hancock, Pat the NES Punk, and Adam Korlick.
Pretty good panel. We were kind of hoping that some of the questions would have been more geared toward the actual reason to have the panel.
It was supposed to be, you know, more about how to make videos and stuff, but it ended up being things that you could have found out just by watching their channel.
But, you know, it was a good panel nonetheless.
So we got to the Homebrew Room.
That's one of the great things about the con as well, as the homebrews.
Immediately, I saw a giant arcade machine, and it turns out that this was a game I had heard of called Space Raft.
Yeah, they had a guy there had a fully done up cabinet for an arcade of a homebrew that he had going on.
First person I spoke to in there happened to be one of the guys in the band, Space Raft.
Got some music from him, good stuff.
He had started on a new game called Sword, and Dick Boots was playing Sword for a while. I got to play it for like 30 seconds. It was kind of like a Ninja Gaiden type of game. You could stick to the walls, and you had a sword, and you're slicing characters as you're running.
Looking forward to how they get fleshed out.
There was a lot of other homebrews there. There's always promising things coming from the homebrew scene. My favorite car this year they had was Kit. I was a huge fan of Knight Rider, and I've always wanted to see Kit, either a reproduction or the real thing in real life.
They did have a kit that was pretty good.
I really wish that thing in the front on the TV show goes like, whoo, whoo. Didn't do that in real life. It showed it, but it didn't make the noise. The Wayne's World car, I didn't even know what it was. When I saw it, I was like, what is this?
I don't think that was the original Pacer.
There was a licorice dispenser on there, which Dick Boots pointed out, and I was like, is that in the movie?
Honestly, if you got a used Pacer, what better use to do with it?
And the DeLorean, which it was cool. I saw it last time I was there, but it was cool to see it again. So Pat the NES Punk was the first person that I decided to go up to. And I had been eyeing this NES book since he announced it was coming out. And I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to buy this book from him.
Bible of NES games. So many games I'd forgotten about. Very entertaining read.
And I remember asking Pat, is the Intellivision Amico book coming next? And he said, you mean the pamphlet? I thought it was a funny Pat thing to say. Glad I got to meet the guy. So the next person I got the guts to go talk to was Nostalgia Critic.
I didn't really know him, actually.
I went up to Doug and talked to him, and we had a little chat. He was complimenting me on my BoboBot shirt, and I explained to him that that's my band. And then I said, hey, can I get a picture with you? And he was like, $20. And I'm like, what? Do I get an autograph with that? And he's like, nope. You get an autograph for $20, and if you want a picture, that's $20. You know what? This guy has given me years of entertainment. The least I could do is give him $20 for a picture, right? So I took a picture with the guy. I thought it was fun.
I was like, you're gonna pay $20 to get this guy's picture?
Right next to Pat the NES Punk was the gaming historian. The first time we walked by Pat the NES Punk, I was like, oh, there's Norm the gaming historian. And Boots was kind of like, whoa, gaming historian? He's kind of taken back by it.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. Just kind of a random booth there, kind of in there like a ninja. Very unassuming, cool to talk to.
We started talking with him. I asked him about why he hadn't done any videos for a while. And he said he's been working on one for months now, and it was an 80-minute long Super Mario World video. He was hoping to get it out by that weekend, but it wasn't done yet. He put it out recently, so that's out there now. You can check it out on his channel. He doesn't need me to advertise it at all, but I'm going to do it anyway. Boots and I bartered with him a little. We were like, what do you got here? He's like, I got a shirt for 25 and I got a bullet journal for 10. And I'm like, well, I bullet journal. And he's like, me too. That's why I made these. And I'm like, well, I'd like one of these. And he's like, I'll give them to you both for 30 total.
Well, that was a highlight of the whole convention for me, was seeing that, just strolling upon it. Wow, this is here. That's wild. John Riggs.
He was selling his Yeah Yeah Beavis cartridges. This is one I wanted to pick up for a while ever since I heard this announced. Perfect opportunity to pick up a Yeah Yeah Beavis. I said, hey Riggs, you've helped me out a few times. You've given me the Baby Yoda ROM for the NES. And you've hooked me up with Mega Cat Studios to do some reviews on their games and stuff like that. And we chatted about Mega Cat Studios for a while.
Got the homebrew from him. I think we're going to play it on the channel here at some point.
He was happy to sign my game for me. Picked up a copy of Yeah Yeah Beavis from him.
Very cool, very good stuff.
So right next to John Riggs is John Hancock.
Very cool as well. I didn't really talk to him at all.
I asked him what he had for sale here because it was an interesting looking item. And it was an Atari cartridge. I was like, how much are these? He's like, oh, $25. And I'm like, is there a ROM? Because I'd really like to just play the game more than anything. And he's like, we decided not to make this a ROM. It's a special thing, and you can only play it if you get this cartridge. I might as well buy this from John Hancock because these people have provided me with entertainment and knowledge for a while now. Least I can do is buy a $25 game. I might buy an Atari and stream it someday, and it'd be the only stream on YouTube.
He was very insightful in the panels that we saw him on.
Adam Korlick was a lot more friendly than I had expected. Not that I expected him to be mean or anything, but what I mean by friendly was I walked up to Adam and I asked him about his Sega Pluto, which is a prototype that Sega had made right after the Saturn. And he's like, here, hold it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to hold this, man. It's probably worth more than anything I own.
Oh yeah, he was cool. I'm surprised he let us, he was just fine with us picking it up.
And it wasn't even his. It was a friend of his that was letting him borrow it.
Letting you hold it and had it there playing. It was really cool. We messed around with it a little bit.
And this cool piece of Sega history that there's only 2 known in existence.
Metal Jesus, I was wearing a Ween shirt. He recognized. He knew what was what.
I told him I like his theme song and how he changes it up every week, and he's like, it's a pain in the ass, but it's worth it.
He was good in the panels as well. Seemed like a real cool dude.
We were walking around and I saw Captain Algebra. He's like, Mega Dan's here and Gaming Off the Grid's here.
Yeah, we ran into a bunch of our friends the first day's walk.
We end up going to some restaurant after the show. Mega Dan was there and his wife, Meg, and Captain Algebra, Wes and Robert from Gaming Off the Grid were there.
Went over to the hotel afterwards, played some Mario Kart, embarrassed myself quite well.
You got Mega Dan there. You got Gaming Off the Grid, you got Captain. They're all pretty good at these games. They kicked our ass every time. Although Robert and I from Gaming Off the Grid, we had a little alliance going, being Yoshi, and we just could not get a win to save our ass. Finally, I got second place. And Robert's like, that's it, I'm cracking open a beer for that. And yeah, he was pretty cool. Brad Jones is also known as a cinema snob. He's someone who I've been following for a long time. His channel kind of inspired the Game Beaters in a way. I told him that I thought it was an interesting idea, the way he reviews dirty movies, and that we decided to do kind of the same thing with dirty video games. And he told me he was surprised that there was more dirty video games out there, that people were still making them. He said he hadn't played a dirty video game since Beat 'em and Eat 'em. To which I said, that was one of the first games we did a review on. So in talking with him, I ended up asking him about the Cinema Snob movie. So I decided to go ahead and buy it from him. He had a DVD there. He signed the DVD for me, and it was fantastic.
Oh, I got a shirt. I got a t-shirt. Sure. Gaming Historian was there, and I got a t-shirt from him.
Got 3 NES games there. TMNT 2 for NES. Picked that up for 10 bones. The original Metal Gear, which I can't believe I don't have that yet. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan and I don't have that cartridge. I picked that up for 10 bones. And because DJ Rudin keeps talking it up so much, I picked up Tetris 2. I gotta try this out. If Rudin says it's great, it's gotta be great.
Funny thing about the hotel though, we were going through the elevators and in this corridor on the 7th floor, there was a chest of drawers thing. They had a phone and a microwave on the top of it, and that's all there was in the corridor. So randomly, I go and I open up one of the drawers and there was all this packaging for some lingerie products. There must have been some shenanigans. Went down on the 7th floor. Maybe they're warming up lingerie with the microwave. I'm glad Milwaukee's keeping it weird.
All in all, it was a good time. I'm glad we went.
Great time. Great chill time.
Everything went pretty well smooth.
People got what they perceived to be deals on games they were looking for.
I got to meet pretty much everyone I wanted to meet there.
Good times.
Good people, good fun, game beaters.